Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're keeping safe and well. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Samira Killenbeck, and welcome to day two. Day two, can you believe it? Of our 5-day series for World Suicide Prevention Day, which is this Friday, the 10th of September. We had a fantastic first debut session yesterday with Esther Akin-George, where she shared with us about her personal story and journey with bipolar disorder and her tips on how we can be about optimal mental well-being as well as looking after our emotional well-being. We're now going to turn our attention, because if you remember what Esther was sharing with us yesterday, the importance of having that support network and the balance between family and friends as well as professional services. So it brings me great pleasure and an absolute privilege for me to introduce our day two speaker. Now, this gentleman is someone that I've known for, even though it's a short period of time, it feels like we've known each other for years. Absolute years. We've formed a really beautiful bond, and most praises to the Most High that we have been able to connect and be on this journey together. He's from London, just like me, but he's from the other side of London, but we're not about any beef, right? He's also a serial entrepreneur, having been a successful personal trainer and owning his own boxing club gym. But outside of being a serial entrepreneur, he's also been a person that's looking to always give back and look at how he can inspire and motivate others, which is what led him to become the winner of the world's motivational speaker or best speaker a few years ago. And but for COVID and little Miss Rona, he would have been actually speaking and working with the hip hop preacher himself, Eric Thomas, last year, I believe. But he's here with us. So please, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for your boy Ace Got Talk.
Mad. Big up your damn self. Thank you very much for that introduction, young lady. Good evening, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And do you know what's hilarious about this situation is that what I didn't tell you is that Ace has his own radio show. So he's used to being the presenter and the interviewer. So today we're going to have a little bit of a role reversal, which is really, really fun. The reason why it's so key that you hear from Ace is because he's got amazing accolades and success behind him from an entrepreneurial perspective, as I shared. But he is also the CEO and founder of this great organization by the name of Talk Support UK. Also, the registered name is Talk Counseling CIO. And as everyone knows, these 5 days for the World Suicide Prevention Day that we are running this series for is actually because of the great works that this organization are doing. So can we just put some extra love and blessings in the chat, because it was because of this man, Ace Talk, that we are actually all joined together under the umbrella of Talk Support. So a little bit of round of applause for you there. So Ace, before we actually get into the meat and potatoes of why we're actually here from a suicide prevention perspective, I think it's important that we take it back. And if we can actually just hear from you, the genesis, how did you go from being this serial entrepreneur, very successful in the business world, to therefore then taking that journey and step into saying, I want to take those skills and actually create this amazing organization, Talk Support?
Thank you very much, and I'm truly humbled by your introduction. Really appreciate it. After having a successful health and fitness empire, I owned my own gym. I retailed online over 5,000 products. We taught kids boxing in schools all over London. We created and branded our own merchandise, our own products, from boxing gloves to hand wraps. I really wanted to do something for the community. I've always been in the community. I've always taught, and been involved in the community from a health and fitness aspect. And that's my background. Anybody that knows me knows that I've got a very strong health and fitness background, and I've worked with children from 5 years old primary school level right up to pensioners in their 60s and 70s, and we've always for over a decade used health and fitness to promote healthy lifestyles and well-being. And people always call me Mr. Motivator, which isn't a title that I accepted. I was like, I'm not motivated, I'm just a personal trainer. And that was my MO, is I'm just a personal trainer. But what I really came to realize and understand towards the end of my personal training career is that why people kept coming back was not because of necessarily just the exercise, but it was what I was doing for them psychologically. And too many stories to mention, but of even mums that routinely brought their children to me who were getting bullied at school, and these kids were very shy, timid, vacant look in their eyes. And once they had spent some time, and we used various exercise and certain tools within the boxing, that teaches them certain disciplines, these children completely turned around. I mean, some of them have run marathons now. Some of them have gone on to do very successful in other sports. I realized that mentally, your mental health was just as equally as important as your physical health.
Yeah.
And after a very successful career in the health and fitness industry, I moved into radio. And I worked on various FM stations, and I was hosting a business community entrepreneur shows. And at the time, I wanted to help the community, so I was really focusing on the business world and the SMEs, the small to medium businesses. And once again, got a strong background in helping small to medium businesses market. So that was where my focus was. It was like, how can I help these small businesses do better and give them the promotion that mainstream wasn't really giving them, because there's a lot of fantastic small businesses out there that just don't have the marketing budget to really get their products or their services amplified. So it was whilst hosting the business community entrepreneur show and tapping into my very extensive network, I was doing a lot of signposting, because being in the position I was as a radio presenter, we was also tackling some of the more troubling issues in the community, not just because with financial issues come all kinds of other issues. So we started to look into things like drug addiction, self-harming, domestic violence, child abuse, and I was signposting people that were in need of those services to various people that could deliver those services. And I identified that there was a lack of professional mental health services that were set up specifically to identify the very challenging mental health needs of the Black community. Not only were there a lack of such organizations, but equally there was a lack of Black professionals that could actually deliver those services. So in a nutshell, that was where the seed was planted. And that was the seed that the acorn that then turned into the oak tree. And the end result is we now have a registered mental health charity called Talk Counselling. We've launched a national helpline, 0203 66 77 888. And we now facilitate a wide range of services, from counselling, all different types of counselling, trauma counselling, pregnancy counselling, right through to things like bereavement coaching. There's a lot of people that have lost loved ones over the last year and a half, so we facilitate bereavement coaching. Pregnancy, there's a lot going on in the hospitals. We have professional pregnancy counsellors and midwives that have got 25 plus years experience in that department. befriending. A lot of our elderly are isolated, don't have young grandkids or even some of them children to help out at these difficult times. So we found that a lot of them are very isolated. So we offer a befriending service, and it's just really identification of what is lacking and where can we help facilitate and provide those services. And I think one of the things we pride ourselves on is the fact that there's so many things that you identify. It's not just one thing, but another thing that we've identified is that there are a lot of people that are carrying a lot of trauma that have suffered in all kinds of manners, which I don't really want to elaborate on, but from sexual abuse to drug abuse, domestic violence. It's all types of people walking around with all types of trauma that would love to engage and access professional therapeutic services, but don't have the financial means to do so. And one of the things we pride ourselves on as a charity is being able to facilitate those therapeutic needs at either a reasonable cost or free of charge, so that the most vulnerable members of the community can access those services.
And what I love is the fact that it's accessing services across the UK, because I know that you started off in London, but in a short space of time, you've been able to grow the services and also the access to the services nationwide. How long has talk counselling, fondly known as talk support, been in existence?
Well, we started off last year in the middle of the pandemic. It wasn't counselling and mental health services wasn't the only services we were providing. Through the community radio platforms, we were giving out free food to the most vulnerable members of the community, and that looked like literally on boots on the ground, delivering shopping to anywhere it was needed. It was single mums with kids, the elderly that couldn't get out, etc. And it was a lot, of trauma that we saw as a community, and we wanted to do something to help facilitate the trauma. And even though I say there were a lack of services out there, there are still, we do, on the other side of it, it's a bit of an oxymoron, but we do have all of the tools we need in our box. In the village, we have counselors, we have psychotherapists, we have specialists in bereavement. So it's galvanizing those services and saying, well, let's come under one roof and let's join forces to do something that is bigger than all of us, to help facilitate that healing. So it was an evolution from other charitable works we were doing, like the food services, and just being out on the ground in the community and seeing these elderly women sitting in their houses, and just even the looks on their face when you turn up with a bag of shopping, and just that that relief. There's a lifeline. There's somebody out there who doesn't know me but still cares. And even just hearing some of the stories of the elderly when we was delivering shopping, some of them had a bell that wasn't working, and they was complaining that Meals on Wheels, they were missing, their food deliveries because they couldn't hear when people come to the door. So we was organising, people to come out and fix their bells and all other little bits going on. So we realised that there's a real need for, grassroots organisations that are actually on the ground, in touch with the people, understand the actual needs of what the people need, and then being able to roll out and deliver those services. So mental health is a big area, and mental health can range from your paranoid schizophrenic to somebody who's depressed, feeling stressed, or suffering from something like anxiety. And we often, when we talk about mental health, I often come across people that perceive only mental health as, if you're on medication for some type of diagnosed, condition. But I want to put it out there that every single one of us suffers from mental health. Your mental health is just the physical state of your mind at any given time, and that can fluctuate. depending on a range of conditions that can affect your environment, and your environment can affect your psychological well-being. So the last 24 months has been very challenging for a lot of people, and we have seen an increase in, as you know, suicide, hence why we're creating awareness in this particular month. But the suicide's gone through the roof.
Yeah.
And not only just suicide, but things like stress, depression, anxiety, all of these things that people, might not have previously suffered from, we've seen now an increase. And we just want to be in a position to be able to facilitate those individuals and give them the support and help them on that road to recovery holistically.
No, it's so beautiful to be connected with Talk Support, and literally having met a lot of the counselors and therapists that are on the ground, and just all of the befriending team. I can say personally that I know the great works that are being done, and it's just, as Asa said, getting started, and it's an evolution. But Asa, I'm curious to know who and what inspires you?
So that's a very deep question. And there are things you do in this world for yourself, and there are things that you do selflessly. And the drive behind the organization, and not just myself, so I'm not going to speak for myself, I'm actually going to speak for all of the volunteers, and I want to shout out to the whole team, because it's not just about me. I'm an ambassador, but it's the team that is behind me that has made what we have created such a beautiful success. And in relation to your question about what inspires me, it's the same drive that inspires the whole team. We're like-minded people that have come together to work synergetically to improve the mental health and well-being of the community. And everybody comes in with just that passion to just want to give back to a community that they love.
What would you recommend to someone who is, as it stands right now, their depression is going through the roof, they're feeling isolated and alone? Having that physical and mental understanding that you have, what kind of tips would you offer that person? What kind of advice would you offer that person, irrespective of age? What are key things that you would say they would need to look into and tap into? So
if I understand the question correctly, what you're asking is, if someone is suffering from depression, what advice would I give them? Is that the question in a nutshell?
To enhance and improve their mental well-being, what kind of tips would you suggest? What kind of things would you recommend? Just from your personal dealings.
See, I think it's very damaging to just give out generic advice. You get, especially when it comes to something so intricate as someone's mental health and well-being. And when you and it's an approach of everything should be the advice you give someone should be done on a case-by-case basis. So without knowing the specifics of that individual, age, lifestyle, what's caused the depression, etc., I wouldn't just freely say, well, you should do this or you should do that. I mean, it's something that takes examination, and we have professionals that are qualified that work through that process.
See, you said, oh, go ahead.
No, but if anyone is depressed and they do want to speak to somebody, I would suggest they give the national helpline a call, 0203 66 77 888, and someone can facilitate your call. And the beauty of why we are a national charity is because with the technology in place now, we don't have to be restricted by counties. So we can facilitate therapeutic sessions via the technology that's available. So yeah, if anyone is feeling depressed, get in touch. 0203 6677 888. You were saying?
No, I was actually just going to say that I'm glad that you said what you said in terms of there isn't just one piece of advice, because the thing is we're all individuals, and it is down to having that ability to speak with someone, which is actually something that Esther touched upon yesterday, which is just knowing that you have the ability to speak with someone. There is that support there.
Yeah.
And then you can share about your personal situation and circumstances to actually then connect and see how best to get the support that is needed. So I'm glad that you shared that. I mean, looking forward, what would you say you are most excited about for the future?
You're gonna have to narrow that question down. Are you talking about the organization or me personally?
For the organization first.
I would say I'm looking forward to organic growth, connecting with more like-minded individuals who can join the great organization and continue to help facilitate the value that we add to the community, and most importantly, the reward that you get from helping other people. That reward is priceless for me. So as we grow, the ambition behind the growth is the bigger we grow as an organization is the more people we can help. And for me, that is priceless. So it's just, I'm enjoying the journey. You know, so far it's been a beautiful journey, and I'm glad to be a vessel that's a part of it.
And so for yourself personally, if you were to be an outsider looking in, not just at Talk Support, but when we look at the current situation that we're in right now with the pandemic, with a lot of anxiety out there, if you could leave a positive message for everyone that's watching right now and those that are going to watch on the replay, what would you share with everyone in terms of a message of positivity and to move forward?
Healing. One word, healing. It's all about healing, you know. And we all at some level need to heal, you know. So to me, it's about healing.
Okay. And if anyone wanted to actually become a volunteer, whether it's in the befriending services that we offer, or if it's looking at the counseling, etc., what would you recommend they do? Telephone, or what would you recommend they
Quickest
do?
way again, telephone number 0203 6677 888. There's an option, I think it's option 8, become a volunteer, or option 7. Just click on the option and you'll go through to the relevant department.
Lovely. And just so that everyone knows, also, if we now link it back to what we're doing with raising funds to continue the great works that Talk Support are offering, we actually have a raffle that we are offering to every single person who actually donates. So it's £5 per raffle ticket. Okay, £5. Now that's $7 US, and we've actually had donations come in from Australia, from the US. So it doesn't matter where you are based. All of the donations, 100%, will actually be going back into the community to continue on with the great works that Talk Support are doing. So Ace, when are we doing the prize draw?
Sunday, next Sunday. The time is yet to be announced. It'll be announced later on in the week. But yeah, it's a fantastic, absolutely fantastic incentive. You know, World Suicide Prevention Day. We're creating awareness for that purpose. Unfortunately, a lot of people have lost people in the last year, but not only in the last year, people have reached out to me that suicide is something that is still quite dear to their heart because they have previously lost people very close to them. So we're creating awareness around World Suicide Prevention Day, and you know, it's just £5 for a raffle ticket. All the donations will go to a charitable cause, or goes back straight into helping the most vulnerable members of the community with their mental health and well-being needs. We're going to be announcing the winner next Sunday, and the lucky winner will win an all-inclusive paid spa pamper treatment date for 2.
They will indeed, and also with a nice self-care hamper. Now, if you are based outside of the UK, then you can nominate someone who's based in the UK to take advantage of that prize. But just to know that all of the money is being donated and raised is going directly 100% to Talk Support. It would be great to open up for any questions that anyone has. And I know that we're just popping in there. We've got the telephone number, so everyone should please make sure that you like and share this video. Every single day at the same time, we're going to be doing these roundtables. So we want to make sure that we're getting the word out. So please continue to share these posts, these videos. Make sure that that number 0203 6677 have it burnt on your heart, so that if there's anyone that you come into contact with, or even for yourself, know that on the other end of the line is help and support. Equally, you can visit www.talksupport.uk, and that will give you access to the website. And again, at Talk Support UK is the Instagram handle. So please let me know if you guys have any questions. Then now is your time. If you have any direct questions for Ace, then please feel free to pop them in the chat. But equally, can we please make sure that we're showing Ace some love? Because it's so easy to just say, I'm going to bury my head in the sand and just get on with life myself. But the fact that he has actually said no, he wants to do more and stick his head above the parapet, so to speak, so that he can ensure that all of us can come together to actually, as he said, heal the world, is a beautiful thing. So please show your love in the chat. And we do have a variety of ways that you can continue to also support Talk Support and the great works. So the first way is definitely, of course, we've got this week with our raffle, but equally ongoing, we have a variety of initiatives that we are involved in order to ensure that we're bringing the community together. So you can also visit www.uk.shop.com/talk support and get access to deals and discounts for free for any and all of the shopping needs for you, your household, your business. And you'll be able to generate income for yourself from just doing what you guys are going to do anyway, which is spend money to shop. At the very least, you're buying food and travel. And also now we've got some frivolous things like spas and cinemas, etc. We've got well over 800, 900 of the top stores that we all shop and love in, the likes of Boots, W.H. Smith's, Evans. So make sure that you get on the uk.shop.com/talk support platform, because not only do you get access to deals and discounts, and you can generate income from your spending, all of that also contributes nicely to supporting the great works of Talk Support as well. So make sure that you stay connected via all the social media platforms, so that you can continue to grow with Talk Support and learn more about the different initiatives that we are running to support the community. Before we finish off this evening, Ace, any final words from you?
As I previously said, it takes a village to raise a child. And those of us that come from a Caribbean background, we understand, what it's like back home and how we move as a village. We all look out for each other. And a lot of that is lost. One of the things that Talk Support pride itself on is we're not just an organization, we're a family, and we welcome anybody that wants to join that family, and one of the other things that we do is we take people on based on their current skill set, although we do offer continual training, and our volunteers are constantly going on various different training courses and getting certificates. But we're not just looking for counsellors. If you're an expert in domestic violence and you want to, offer your expertise, we welcome you. If you're an expert in bereavement and you want to offer your expertise, we welcome you. If you're an expert in any of the child services, social work, etc., and you want to offer your services, we welcome. So we have a wide range of volunteers that work for us, and it allows us to continuously work holistically across the board. So if anybody wants to get in touch and become a volunteer, you can give us a call, 0203 66 77 888. And although I know you bigged me up, I'm truly humbled because this talk counselling, it's not about me. And everybody that comes into the team, they realise it's not about them. We're just all working together for the greater good of the community.
No, absolutely. And it is a pleasure and a privilege to be a part of the Talk Support family as well. So guys, do you have any questions live and direct for Ace before we close out today's session? I just want to make sure that everyone has the opportunity. If you do have any questions, I know that a lot of them have now been answered in the chat, which is amazing. So thank you ever so much. We've got Caroline Badillo on the line. We've got Mummy Carmen there. We've got Shan. We've got Jack. We've got my aunt in America. We've got Jack Hamill's been donating out in New York. We thank you, brother. Thank you for being on.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And I can't see anyone else in the chat, but everyone that is on live, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for your continued love and support. It's all about, as Ace has said, that optimum mental health and emotional well-being. And we do have a question. So we have a question. I'm going to stop my close, which is, Ace, any tips that you can offer aspiring entrepreneurs due to your life experience? So any books, any life tips that you can offer?
The life tip, which is most, I think, relevant to the question is, winners never quit, quitters never win. And I say that, and I don't say that lightly, winners never quit and quitters never win. It doesn't matter where you are in your own journey. As long as you're still in the race, no one can call you a loser. It doesn't matter if everybody's taken off and they're miles ahead of you and you're miles behind, because you're not in your race with anybody else. You're only in your own race with yourself. So winners never quit and quitters never win. But no matter what it is you want to achieve in this world, the day you decide, I give up, you're never going to be a winner because you gave up. And I said this to somebody earlier on today. I said that the richest place in the world is a cemetery, because we're all born with gifts, we're all born with talents, we're all born with skills. We have so much to contribute to this world, but a lot of us, through the conditioning that we picked up at a long age, we don't aspire to be all we can be. All men are created equal, but only few choose to walk in their greatness. So it really boils down to the character of the individual. And if you've got the character that is determined that you're going to succeed, you will succeed. If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So there's a few golden nuggets in there for you. Winners never quit, quitters never win. If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And it's always about, just as I said to this same person, start with the end in mind. And I don't say that lightly. You have to start with the end in mind. I asked somebody earlier on today, I said, I'm a genie. I can give you anything in this world that you want. What does it look like? Tell me what you want based on not what the limitations that are in front of you, what the limitations are of your own mind. Forget that. If you could have anything in this world, what does it look like? Because once you know what that looks like, Einstein said it best. Einstein said the imagination is a preview of the future. So once you can see it, you can achieve it. So you always got, as an entrepreneur, you can't just say, I'm an entrepreneur. You got to say, well, what does the end look like? And once you start with the end in mind, you then reverse engineer the plan. You work backwards, and then everything's possible. You know. One more tip is everything's possible. Another one, don't let anyone tell you can't do it. You know, so being an entrepreneur can be a lonely place. You know, eagles don't fly in flocks. So you have to be determined and you have to believe in your own dream before anyone else does. Because if you're waiting for other people to believe in your dream, you'll be waiting a long time. A lot of the time, entrepreneurs, they see things that other people can't see. So they look a bit crazy as well. And I'm going to leave you on this one. The distinction between insanity and genius is failure or success. I'll say it again. The distinction between insanity and genius is failure or success. So it doesn't matter how crazy you look or how crazy your idea may seem. You know, if it doesn't pop off, everyone would say you're a madman. It goes well, and everyone's going to say, wow, what a genius. Why didn't I think of that? So you just got to have conviction in yourself and what you believe in and just go for it and never give up.
Love that. Can you recommend any books that you've read that you would recommend to anyone?
I'll tell you.
3 books.
Oh, 3.
A lot.
Yeah, I can do 3, but I was going to do 1 and tell you why that one is important and probably relevant to this. I might drop another 2, but the book that I would recommend, which I've read about 100 times. Actually, I play the audio on repeat when I go, and I've played the audio about 200 times. Beautiful. It's called Failing Forward. I can't remember the author right now. I can pull it up, but you find that you can get it on YouTube. You don't even have to pay for it. It's free. Yeah, if you go to YouTube and you type in Failing Forward, it will come up. It's an audio. It's about 2.5 hours long. But that book is absolutely brilliant because it's the first book that I've come across that glorifies failure in such a way that you look at all the times you failed and not only share and champion your own failures, but realize that those failures was an important part of the inevitable success that you're about to achieve. And this book explains that, I don't want to go off track about the hardwiring of the brain and, how we want to stay in our comfort zones and all of that stuff, but we don't like to fail. And we've been conditioned to see failure as a negative thing. No one wants to lose. We're already programmed to feel the endorphins that come with winning. So if we've tried something and we failed, it's like you're burnt. You might not want to go back there again. But once you read this book, your whole attitude towards failure changes, and it makes you realize that actually failure is such an inevitable part of success. The journey to all great victories, the road to all great victory, it journeys through the village of failure. Sometimes you pass that village 2-3 times, but you have to go through that village. So when you get that really ingrained into your psyche, you embrace failure in a completely different way. And you realize that not only that failure is a very important part of success, but failure is almost like the way to success. And that's where it goes even one step further. So all of these things that come in front of us that we look at as, barriers are not actually barriers. They're actually just obstacles. They're just challenges that we have to overcome. And that is what here's a tip for you, a great entrepreneur is all about. A great entrepreneur is somebody that can problem solve and work through challenges and get around things, because that's what it's about. It's about being that, having that ingenuity. And so that is a book that I would recommend you go and listen to. You don't even have to buy a copy. You can get it on YouTube. Just type in Failing Forward. I can even pull up the author. But Failing Forward, and it's a beautiful, you can get the audio on YouTube and just listen to it. And I love it. I've listened to it about 200 times and I can't get enough of it.
John C. Maxwell.
That's the one. That's the one. John C. Maxwell. There's many other books I can name, but what I always wanted to, if I name a book, I want to tell you a reason why. I don't just want to say, yeah, you should read this book. It's a great book. I think it's always important to say why as well.
One more.
One more. The other book that comes to mind, I'm trying to think of it. It's it's the bestseller. It's a beautiful book. Oh my god! And I'm sure you've probably read it. It's the one that Bill Clinton got spotted by a photographer coming out the White House with under his arm, and then it blew up. You frozen?
I'm frozen.
Yeah, you're frozen. Oh my god. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You back?
I don't know.
You back?
Am I back? Oh, I don't know what is going on with my laptop today. I have some technical gremlins.
Back? You back?
I think I'm back. I
can hear you, but I can't see you. But should I just carry on talking anyway?
Carry on talking, my love. I have technical gremlins. I apologize.
I can hear you, but I can't see you. So yeah, I'm still frozen, but yeah, you're back now. Now I can see you. Yeah. So back. Hello. I can see you now. I can't hear you.
But, yeah. Go.
So
for
my
it.
second.
No, go for it.
Second book choice is The Alchemist. Can you hear me? Have you read that?
The Alchemist.
Have you read that?
Thank you, Andrea.
Yeah.
I haven't. I'm making notes.
You haven't read The Alchemist?
I have not.
Brilliant book. You got to read that. You have to read that. Okay. I'm recommending that book to you.
I take that on board, sir. Why The Alchemist and by who? Is that by Paul Cole? Oh, I can't pronounce his name.
Can't remember the author, but just a very interesting story. We're all on a journey, and we're all searching for something, you know. And not everybody finds what they're looking for. So that book is all about a man on a journey who is searching for something. So I don't know. Oh, yeah, the gremlins are kicking in again. But yeah, The Alchemist is another book that I would definitely recommend.
All right. So what we will do. Oh. I don't even know what's happened. My laptop has decided that it wants to do something outside of what I wanted to do.
Right at the end. Never mind. We had a good interview though.
I was just going to say that what I am going to do for everyone is make sure that we come Friday, we're going to compile all of the different resources and like golden nuggets that every single speaker shares with us. So today we've got a couple of these books. So Failing Forward by John C. Maxwell. He's amazing when it comes to leadership and mindset, and also The Alchemist. So we'll make sure that we share that with everyone as a final resource at the end of our series. And I'll need to somehow have my internet/laptop play ball. Ace, I cannot thank you enough for joining us on day 2 of our 5-day series, which is all in aid of World Suicide Prevention Day, which is this Friday, the 10th of September, but also for Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month of September. I don't actually know if I'm still here because my screen is completely blank.
Still here.
But thank you so much. But thank you everyone who was able to dial in and tune in live. Thank you so much to everyone that will watch this on the replay. We want to make sure that we share this far and wide, this knowledge and the golden nuggets that's being shared, because this is our way of ensuring that we can all reach one so that we can save lives. So make sure that you're following us all week. Tomorrow, same time, 6 p.m. till 7 p.m. We pray the technical gremlins, we can keep them at bay. So 6 p.m. till 7 p.m. UK time, which is 1 p.m. till 2 p.m. Eastern. We will be back tomorrow and we'll be looking at nutrition, the importance of nutrition when we are looking at our mental and emotional well-being. But from my heart to yours, thank you ever so much, Ace, for joining us today. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. And for those of you that watch the replay, take care, stay blessed, and make sure you donate on the raffle. Gotta be in it to win it. And it's until 11:30 p.m. Friday, the 10th of September. Make sure that you're in it to win it, but it's all about us doing our bit to give back. Good night. God bless. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Choose your future.